Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. I gotta sit there and say, for the most part, I genuinely enjoyed this episode. I really did. It's been a long time coming for Teresa, but I gotta sit there and say, today's episode definitely paid off. So, Fiona comes in, and at first she accuses Alex of, being a charlatan, being a fraud and everything like that. They get into the whole thing, to the letter, which, by the way, I don't really understand why Justin still carries that letter. But after Alex explains the whole thing about Victor being my father, this, that, and the third, and the whole letter thing, and Fiona's like, where's the letter? I want to sit there and see the letter. Justin brings out the letter. She explains the whole thing, Titus, everything. So at some point, Fiona, I keep mixing her name up with Anna, who real name is Fiona anyway. At some point, she's like, well, did anyone else, have access to that letter before you did? Now she turns around. The whole time, you just have Teresa just looking shook, from start to finish. And when he turns around, he looks at her. She just looks like guilty as hell. Like she is saying it just with her expression alone. So he starts interrogating her in front of everybody. Leo is just like, oh, this is juicy. Everyone's just like, they're shocked and everything. And eventually she confesses to all of it. She confesses to all of it, even working with Constantine. And the whole time, Alex is just feeling like an idiot. He's like, Brady warned me. Everyone warned me. And I didn't listen to anybody. And the whole time, you were sitting there playing. You want to know what the sad part is? In the beginning, yes, it was like that. But she did start to have real feelings for him. The problem is, it didn't matter. Your relationship was built on a lie from the start. So anything else that came after that didn't really matter. So, he starts yelling at her and everything like that, and she confesses to everything. And then she does this really sad, pitiful running away. And I'm just like, we just gonna let the criminal go that just committed forgery? We just gonna act like she's just not gonna leave town? What are we doing? Why are we not sitting there? What do they call that? Citizen's arrest? We just gonna just let this chick just go, start packing her bags and everything. Now the whole time that she's confessing, Andrew's just like, damn it. Because, he's the one that covered for her with the whole kidnapping thing. So she's packing her bags. Andrew comes in. And Teresa's like, are you going to sit there and rat me out for the whole kidnapping thing? He's like, no. Now, in all reality, he rats her out. He's going to look just as guilty. Because he covered the whole thing up. And it's not going to really matter because you're going to be going away for forgery. So, and Xander, I'm surprised Xander didn't sit there and stop her. But I think because he wants to sit there and deal with his mother. So after everyone pretty much leaves, Xander's like, you knew, and you didn't say anything that whole time, even after his death, even after Titus's death, you didn't say anything. But at that point, she's like, well, I just hit rock bottom. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. Da 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 da. I'm like, this is what happens when you start trying to retcon stuff. This is what happens when you start trying to retcon stuff because at some point, you should have said something. You really should have said something. I know deaths can, when it comes towards a death, can hit somebody really hard. And I guess it's plausible that she just went to stick into a bottle to just get away from her pain and everything that was going on with Xander was just like it was just too much. Come on. Seriously? So eventually she did sit there and write the letter. Too little too late, but still. Um, Now, Alex is just befuddled by the whole thing. He feels like an idiot. And Bonnie's like, well, the good thing is that Justin's your father. And he's like, yeah, you're right. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for you too, Sonny. And I'm just not thinking, what's really missing from this little heart to heart kind of hugging and everything like that? A goddamn apology. You've been acting like an asshole to him for quite a while. And the only thing you sit there and say is, I'm so grateful to have you as a father. I love you, man. Yeah, I love you too, but you wanna start with some apology, a letter, something? And of course, he's just so happy to have his son back and that Victor didn't lie to him. And it's just this whole little bonding experience where everyone just hugs each other. I'm just like, and I get it from Justin's point of view, but part of me is just like, you really not gonna get this man an apology? Nothing? Okay. So that's going on. You got Brady that's just knocking him back. And, Ava is like, listen, I can't stop you or anything like that. But Ava's also like, can I call anybody for you? He's like, well, you can't call Maggie, you can't call this person, can't call that person. I was like, Ava, do you think that you should probably call Kristen at this point? You know, the mother, the father of her child. You don't think that Kristen would want to know that he is just knocking him back left and right? Seriously? No? So he drank, and she already knows that it's about his ex. So he gets into that whole story about how he's so broken up over his ex that he just effed up his sobriety for Teresa. I can't even say that with a straight face. And of course, Ava talks about Harris and him leaving, and with the lies and the BS. So at the end of their drinking, or when she's done, he's all like, "So, you want to have some company?" And she's like, "Well, as tempting as that is, Chris is my boss, and I'm already been making a bunch of bad decisions." So she just kind of just bows out. I'm like, okay, cool, because the whole time I'm listening to saying in my live streams, oh, they just gonna do it. So you just gonna act like Kristen's not your boss? Like really? She bows out. She leaves. Now, like I said, Xander, he was pissed off at her. So he tells her to kick rocks. And Maggie's like, you heard him. Leave. So she leaves. She goes to the Brady pub. She sees Brady sitting up there by himself with a drink. Brady's like, hey, listen, if you want to sit down, that drink has been touched. So, pull up a chair. So she pulls up a chair. By the way, I gotta sit there and say, once again, I said this before, but that chick is stunning. That chick is stunning. And she has that accent. She got it going on. That's all I'm gonna sit there and say. That woman, that is the definition of aging like fine goddamn wine. That's all I'm gonna sit there and say about that. Now I did sit there and say the previews, I thought Brady and Ava slept together. I'm thinking maybe Brady and Fiona. So I'm pretty sure Xander is either going to be pissed off or he's just going to be like, you know what, I don't care. I think it's going to be either extremes. He's either going to be super pissed off and be like, you know what, whatever. Which is so sad because when she got there, she started shaking Sarah's hand and being introduced to Maggie and everything and meeting her grandchild. It was all nice and good. And then towards the end, they both just looked at him like, you should leave. Now, Sarah I'll sit there and take that big old L. Because Sarah the whole time was all like, oh, well, you should sit there and we should bring her in because, Victoria got to sit there and meet her other grandmother. I think that she's changed. And now she just has that look of, like, fiery and fierceness. I'm like, you should probably take some accountability for even bringing this woman and really pushing, really pushing. And the only good thing that came out of it is that he knows the truth and he can get that money. But other than that, yeah, you gotta kind of take the L on this one. You do. And eventually, well, Paul talks to Leo. It doesn't really go anywhere. So there's that. Um, then he gets back to the house. He starts knocking him back. He looks at Victor's painting. And I'm sitting there thinking he's not really going to take that glass and throw it at the paint. He's not going to do that, right? I feel like it's. Listen, maybe it's just me, but like if the actor didn't pass away and he did that, I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. But knowing that the actor passed away, like there was a part of me that was just like, that really necessary? Was that really necessary? I mean, I know it was because characters and everything like that, but part of me was just like, I don't know how to feel about that part. I feel like that's about it. Let me double check. I'm gonna do this like 6, 7, 7 in the morning. Maybe not. Yeah, that is the gist of the episode. There might be more here or there, but I think that's the fine tuning of the episode. So, if I forgot anything, come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about all the shows. General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born and Beautiful, Young and Restless. And that is, of course, assuming, well, it's only about o'clock, so I should be able to get this General Hospital review done after I finish watching it. So, yeah. Also, look on the community tab. May sit there and change the time. Right now, it's going to be the usual time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm going to talk about all the shows, Cheese, Days of Our Lives, Born and Beautiful, Young and Restless. And just check the community tab. But for right now, it's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And I'll see you in the next video.